Aloha, my friends, coming at you today from Kill Devil Hills or something like that. I'm on the Outer Banks, so this is the Atlantic in all her glory. Really not sure if you're going to be able to even hear me if I talk. Wow. And I can't see my screen well, so I'll probably attempt to talk anyway, but been thinking about judgment. Our so-called good judgments good? So we would say immediately, you know, bad judgments are bad or negative. Not a good idea. But if you actually apply this to good judgments, I think it applies equally. Because isn't that how religions or programs or indoctrinations got started? Because people said, well, this is good. This is good. This is the way you should do it, or should think, or should believe. But then it just turns out to be the same thing as the negative. It's just the opposite of the negative. Which again, we've been so programmed to think that one side of duality is good and great and the other side is not. But it turns out both sides are actually two sides of the same coin. So what it really, what we learn at the end of the day is that there really isn't anything good or bad outside of yourself, meaning there's not some absolute truth, really, even. There's not an absolute good or bad outside of yourself. Now, within yourself, yes, you have your truth. You have your things that you feel are good or bad. And those are relevant because that's your experience. Hey, Crow. That's your direct experience. So you've earned, let us say, the right to decide what is good or bad for you. Your truth. But see, we want to then take that earned right, if you will, and apply it to the world or apply it to other people. So if you think you're thinking right, you think everybody else should think right, and they should think the way you think because you're thinking right. But that is your truth. You're entitled to it. You're right, even. Because you're creating your reality. But we don't have the right to impose that on other people. And the religions are a great example of that very thing, where they've decided we have gotten a hold of truth, it's our truth, and we apply this truth to the entire external world, and everybody should conform to that truth. And that's where it becomes an error and a mistake. Because everybody holds their own truth within themselves. Obviously, right? Obviously, because we're not all at the same level. So how could we all have the same exact truth? How could we say any specific thing is the absolute truth? Because we're at different levels. And I know somebody out there would be trying to get real practical. I'm the same way. So they'd be like, well, gravity is an absolute truth. Yeah, but if you showed up in the form of your higher self right now, you would defy gravity. So then all of a sudden, where's your truth that you thought was the absolute truth that you were trying to apply to every other person or everything? So just because you haven't experienced gravity defied yet, boom, doesn't mean that it's not defiable given the right circumstances. So that's what should help us to see then that there is no absolute truth. There is no right or wrong. Even what you're considering wrong or bad, I better watch out, I'm gonna get caught off guard. Even what you're considering wrong or bad is actually not bad. Because again, if we co-create our realities, then someone or a group of someone's other selves have created their reality and you would say, well, that's negative. What they've created is negative. Yes, for you it would be negative. For you it would be bad. Again, you have the personal right to decide that for yourself. But seemingly it even looks bad for them, because seemingly something bad is happening to them, right? But again, are we not the co-creators of our reality? If we are, if you've gotten to the point where you know that now and you're not just trying to believe it, but you know it, then it applies to everything and everybody. So whatever seemingly bad circumstances these people are manifesting in their life is actually part of their challenge, part of their growth, part of what they've got to learn about still. And what business would I have of applying my truth to their creation and saying, well, they're creating, what they're doing is bad or wrong, right? They're not where I am, perhaps. So for them, at the level they're at, it's exactly what they're creating. It's their creation. So I have no opinion about it. Why would I? See, why would we? Again, it's so hard to break out of this mentality of judgment. We judge everything. We want to make a determination about everything. We want to weigh it on our scale and come to a determination. But that's futile and pointless once you know this. Once you know you're the co-creator of your reality, and so is everybody else. So you're in the, again, it's the center point. You're in the center. You're in the middle. You're not right or left. You're okay with all of it, because you realize every single thing you're seeing and experiencing in your external world is either somebody's individual co-creation or it's collective co-creation. And it has to be perfect, right? Because we've been given the power to do it. So what do we want? Some, do we want the deity to jump in and override our free wills and start barking orders and mandating how shit's gonna be, etc., etc.? Like, a lot of people still think that way. They're like, wait till God shows up. Because, again, because they're judging. That comes from a mentality of judgment. Wait until what I perceive to be your correction shows up in the form of God and kicks your ass for me, so I don't have to. That's not love, unity, and light. That's, you don't believe you are creating your reality, if that's your mentality. You can't, because it's contradictory. It's a total contradiction to think that way. So I'm not going to go super deep or blabber on about it. There's really nothing. The closer we get to center, we're going to be like this bird that's up here. I don't know if you can see it. I can't see my screen. But that's eventually how we're going to be. We're just going to be chilled back on the beach, watching the waves, without a bunch of clatter and chatter, because it's not needed. Once you get it, there's not much human words add to it. There's not much to add to the clarity of consciousness in 5D, as far as human words go. This is literally my first time on the East Coast in earnest. Like the big waves coming in right off the open water. I mean, look at this, people. This is beautiful. This inspires the heck out of me, because this place is so big and so vast and so amazing, and all of the frequency of all of it, I am made out of, and so are you. And we have been given the conscious option to walk and talk and move around as an individual manifestation of this great power, this great consciousness, the same consciousness that's driving these waves in right now. It's all, we're all part of the same thing. The pulsating rhythm of these waves coincides with the pulsating rhythm of your own heart. They're interlinked. If one disappeared, so would the other. And to the people out there that are struggling with life, we have no business struggling, because that's just kind of another way of saying you're fighting with it. You're fighting with life. Why would you fight with life? See, the only reason you're fighting with life is because you still don't know that you co-create your reality. See, once you know that, you realize you have no fight with anything. There's nothing to fight, because whatever shows up, I created it. Why would I fight with something that I created? So just learn the lesson, whatever it is. If something unpleasant that you don't like is showing up in your reality that you co-created, learn the lesson. What is it? Why did you create that? What is it you're trying to accomplish, overcome, understand? This looks like a good memento piece right here. This will mark the occasion. Where's the sun? I can't see. I can't see anything. That'd be a good necklace piece though. Piece for a necklace. So, hope the wind's not too bad on the microphone. And I don't know how much time I have. And so it'll probably just cut off whenever it cuts off. Because like I said, I can't see it. And we're just out here living the life. And you know, I want to master manifesting. I don't want to just know about how it works. I don't want to just be inspired by how it works, but then not be able to implement it. So I'm going to do whatever it takes. I'm going to face whatever hard truth I have to face. I'm going to be honest in whatever area I have to be honest, which is all areas. What, are you going to lie to yourself in some areas and not others? So I'm determined to become a master manifester. And I will do it. I will do it. And until we know that, until we can say that to ourselves, speak that to ourselves in knowingness, it'll never happen. It'll never happen. So we gotta get to that level. And getting to that level means going within, doing the inner work, because that level is tapped inside, not outside. The outside is just a reflection. So look at this. Beautiful, gorgeous reflection of my inner self, of your inner self. Your heart and its beat is that big, that vast, that amazing as that ocean right there. Undoubtedly. Undoubtedly. Have you felt your heartbeat that big yet? Have you felt your heartbeat that big yet? Because that's how big it is, and powerful, and majestic. And if there was a hurricane going on right now, it'd be scary even. You know, a hurricane is like when you're in an amped up moment and your heart's going really fast and you got adrenaline flowing through it. It's all mirroring. It's all connected. It's all one. It takes a while to wrap your mind around that, how it's all one. But it is all one. There's one consciousness in a cosmic egg, and from that one consciousness, all of us come as fractals of that consciousness into human form to have a physical experience. So if you're fighting somebody else, you're fighting yourself literally. It's not just some saying that makes you not want to fight with people. No, you're actually, really fighting with yourself or harming yourself. And if you're loving, then you're loving yourself. If you're caring, then you're caring for yourself. Because it's all one. It's all comes from the one. And the one is not some deity that's going to judge everything. There's no judgment here. There's nothing to be judged. There really isn't. Because you're free to co-create whatever you want. And so who's going to judge that? If something, let us say something gave you the freedom to do that, then why would it turn around and judge you for doing that? You could just say, I'm doing what you said. I'm just doing what you said. And now you're judging me? Now you're going to kick my ass? Now you're going to throw me into hell or whatever crap they try to sell us as fear to control our consciousness, to control our growth, to stifle us from becoming powerful co-creators that know we create our realities. And see that, again, that's my truth. And that's other people's truth that know that as well. But I can't impose that on you. I'm not going to sit there and tell you, you're ignorant if you don't know that. You may not know that yet. So, you would only be ignorant in the sense that you're ignorant that you don't know of that yet. Meaning you don't have that knowledge yet within you. But that wouldn't be a judgment of like trying to put you down because you didn't know that. There's nothing to judge. Everything is perfect. Listen to these waves and tell me everything is not perfect. Love and light until next time, my beautiful co-creator friends. Believe in yourself. Believe in yourself.